Hey guys, this is Cam315 and I'm back at it with another video for you guys, and this is Stargirl Season 1 Episode 4 review for you guys, and we are going to talk about it. This Stargirl episode was the introduction of more of a backstory element of Yolanda, and the introduction of Wildcat to, I guess, the new JSA. So yeah, this episode was good. Um, I do like this episode a lot. I did like this episode a lot. Do I think it was better than last week's episode? No, but it still was a pretty good episode. So let's get into it. Now the episode, it's another episode where it starts off in the past, where this takes place 3 months ago, with Yolanda, and Yolanda, she's obviously in a much better place than she is, currently in the present time. She is like, one, she's dating Henry. Two, I'm guessing she's like a really smart individual. She's even running, I guess, for like, I could say her student body president. Student, what it looked like, I guess, student body president. Are there, in other words, if anybody knows like ASB or something like that, you know, um, so she was running for that. We also do find out the stuck up girl we've been seeing the last couple of episodes. I actually finally caught her name because if we're gonna put a poster of her, named Cindy, and she's a guest running against Yolanda in the same thing. The one thing I kind of had an issue with the flashback scene was the fact when they were putting up the posters for like, oh, vote for Yolanda, vote for Cindy. It just says vote for them. It doesn't say like vote for them as president, student body president. They could have put that to make it more thing, but I figure it was, just president. So after one day, or Yolanda's doing, I'm guessing, her homework, and Henry sent text her, saying that he wants to essentially get like a sexy picture of her, but essentially, and he kind of like, I guess you could say, you know, doesn't forces her, but kind of just like, I guess you could say, kind of bribes her a bit, like, come on, I won't, it's just between you and me, and stuff like that. So she ends up actually sending him a nude image of her, like I'm guessing a topless image of herself. Um, so essentially, she takes the picture, she sends it to Henry, and there's this one part where I'm guessing Henry's with his boys, and Cindy actually bumps into him. Um, no, I'm thinking maybe here Henry showed that image to, I guess, the others. Cindy tries to get the phone, but Henry kind of snatches it back. And then I'm guessing at like, I'm guessing you could say like, I don't know, maybe I don't know if she wanted, or maybe it's like, she's given her whole thoughts, like, her speech of what she's going to do when she becomes president of the school or something like that. And eventually we see that Cindy actually sends out, I guess you could say, the leaked image of her taking her selfie. And it doesn't just send to, a few people, it sends to the entire school, like everybody in the freaking room. Um, one, um, I'm not shocked that images would like that would spread like around the school, around a high school like that. But one, let's be real. In realistic terms, that typically doesn't happen because even the people who people don't really like in a school, don't typically get images like that. They kind of regulate those types of things to certain groups of people. They don't send it to the entire school, which I found completely, unrealistic whatsoever, because I don't give a crap. If something like that were to send out, I guarantee you, I had people who have gotten those stuffs. They don't send it out to other people if they're gonna be like that. More importantly, it doesn't send out to the entire school, because not even, because trust me, you know, stuff like that. So, anyways, it spreads out, and things like that. And essentially, you know, she really gets into some trouble with her family and stuff like that. And yeah, so thing now, I'm guessing what happened is Henry must have sent out the images to other people because I don't know how Cindy got a hold of it. Maybe maybe one of his friends asked him for the image, and I don't know, sent it to Cindy, and it just started spreading around. Who knows how she got that image? They don't explain how she got that image. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe later on. So far, it's looking like Henry's the one that sent out the image to a few people. So it cuts back to present day, and Courtney's just getting all the stuff to of the former JSA like headquarters, and she's putting it in the bag because Pat calls her downstairs for breakfast or something like that. And she touches the pink pen, and the pink pen still doesn't do anything. It kind of just looks like it works like a regular pen. Um, don't, but when she puts it in like her cup and she leaves, it gives this little ominous laugh. So I think that might be something later down in the season that we'll probably get. She does talk to Pat like, and this is the only time she really talks to Pat in this episode, and then that's it of really, her and Pat talking, and essentially, she talks about how a new Justice Society is being made so they can mobilize against the villains. Pat's like, I don't know, we should probably wait this out. So yeah. Now we get to the school. Cindy, Henry and Yolanda kind of bump into each other, and Yolanda says sorry and stuff like that. But Cindy sees that. She kind of tries to, like, I guess, bully her. Courtney gets in the way, cuts it off, and says, leave her alone. But Cindy kind of makes, like, a threat, like, don't do something, like, don't do something you regret or something like that. Courtney tries to talk to Yolanda, but Yolanda wants nothing on it. We cut back to what Pat's doing, and Pat actually runs into Denise Zarek. And obviously, she is like really freaking broken from what happened to Joey and William from last week. So yeah. Then it cuts to Icicle going down to the Injustice Society base, and he runs into. Now, at first, when I was listening to the episode, it said doctor something. I was barely gonna understand it. Heck, I even rewinded back to hear what he said, and I heard doctor. I found out, this is Dragon King after watching another person's review after I'm making this video, and he's Dragon King. He brings up the point that he's been working on his daughter, so I'm guessing this might be a future antagonist we'll see later on in the series or in the season. Icicle also does bring up about Project New America and stuff like that, and the Dragon King's apparently building something to help out with this Project America. And then also in the meantime, Dragon King also wants the magician's or the wizard's body. So that's going to be interesting. Now, Courtney also runs again into Yolanda, and Yolanda wants nothing to do with anyone because of, the past incidents and stuff like that. Now, when Yolanda goes home, which we see her goes home earlier in the episode, the mom literally does not hear her out or not do anything. And Yolanda's kind of telling her, like, yo, a friend invited me over for dinner. Could I, like, go over there? And the mom's like, no, you're grounded. And I'm like, Jesus, grounded for 3 months? Holy crap. I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, kids don't even get that punishment. At least, I'm like, I don't know, man. I wouldn't give, and yeah. So, and then Yolanda asks, like, when I'm gonna be off my punishment, when I'm gonna stop being grounded, and the parents just kind of just the mom just like, when I say you are, and I'm like, okay, geez. I'm like 3 months. I'm like, don't you think it's been a long time to understand her actions, and stuff like that. Um, like we all find out. Denise. Well, actually, we later see Denise and Pat, and Denise essentially tells Pat that she's gonna leave Blue Valley, and she tells Pat like, "Look, don't trust anybody here. Um, you know, essentially like get out of here, really." And she kind of somewhat gives away the identity of the wizard or William's, alter ego, mostly because she says, well, Joey always wanted to be like her dad or like his dad. And I was like, oh, interesting. Patrick needs can put one and one together. Um, so Courtney actually does invite, Courtney does invite Yolanda, over to her house. She comes over. She like introduces her to the cosmic staff, shows her the cosmic staff. And Yolanda also puts on the Wildcats costume for the first time, and it kind of like fits her. Like at first it looks all baggy and everything, but the moment she puts the helmet on, it like fits her, and it looks kind of similar to the Black Panther costume from the Black Panther movie. Like the way it just goes, and even some of the texturing colors they do on the suit was pretty cool, and it reminded me of Black Panther. Um, the interesting thing is when they're doing this training montage with Wildcat's power, with Yolanda doing her powers. The funny thing is I find out that they're looking up about the powers of Wildcat on Wikipedia, which Wikipedia, if you ask me, or well, if you go to any school, any teacher says don't use Wikipedia as a source because Wikipedia is literally unreliable and they could be telling lies. Now here, most of the things Wikipedia said here in this universe apparently is true. Um, like I said, if you're writing a paper, guys, don't use Wikipedia. That's not a good source because you can actually be duped using Wikipedia. Um, they eventually also see Henry driving, and then that's when Courtney reveals to Yolanda that Brainwave is actually Henry's father. And they essentially, Courtney comes to the realization like maybe we should see if there's any other villains, showing up in the hospital where Brainwave's at. So they go to Brainwave's medical room. Things happen. Courtney kind of makes a distraction and stuff like that. In the meantime, we also run into Beth in this thing, and Beth actually meets up with her mom later in the hospital, scenes, and essentially her mom says like, "Look, don't hang out with me, go hang out with your friends or something like that. Don't you have friends?" And Beth obviously, we know she doesn't really have certain friends around. Now Yolanda actually run after getting the sheet with all the sign-ins for the room for Brainwave. Before she leaves, she actually sees Henry in the same room, and it looks like she's about to attack him. But then she stops the moment Henry says like "I miss you, Dad" and stuff like that. So yeah, she kind of hides and stuff like that. Now after that, Principal Bowen actually comes in and plays the violin for some reason. Now, in the other review I listened to, and even I checked on others, you saw other thumbnails of other reviews. Apparently, the Principal Bowen is called the Fiddler. I don't know who or what the Fiddler is. If you want to put that in the comment section with what the Fiddler is, please go ahead because I do not know any of the villains are certain heroes in this series. Like literally the only villain and hero I know for the most part. Apparently, Green Lantern's Lantern is in this thing. And Jake Garrick who played the Flash who's the Flash in this universe. I know that, and then Solomon Grundy. That's the only other thing I know about. You know, that's the only really that's the only hero I know. Solomon Grundy's the only hero I know. Now, in the meantime, after they see all that incident, um, you know, Bev sees Courtney and Yolanda scaling the wall and overhears Courtney call Yolanda, Yolanda, instead of just saying Wildcat, which I think now Courtney might need to be more, aware of who she calls people by name. I think that you should call them by their hero names, not their real names, because then people will find out, oh, well, what the heck? Beth sees this, so obviously Beth by the next episode, which looks like she's gonna be suiting up herself by next week. She's gonna put two and two together. Well, one, she knows that Yolanda's Wildcat, but she's gonna put two and two together that Courtney is Stargirl. Um, Now we do find out that Bowen apparently is not signing into the hospital, which I'm guessing the other, Injustice League of Villains, just Injustice League of America, villains are probably doing the same thing too. Now, Yolanda actually rejects being Wildcat because she tells Courtney she wants to find herself before wearing the Wildcat costume again. She wants to be Yolanda Montez again. Um, she then goes home and she has a serious talk with her family, and I thought it was a pretty good speech by her. And essentially, she tells her family like, "Look, I'm sorry for my actions. I know I disgraced this family and everything. I disgraced myself. I think it's been long, and I think it's time I get off my punishment. I think I've learned my lesson." And she essentially asked for forgiveness from her parents, her family. Now, the only one in the family so far that looks like, who actually like supports her and is willing to forgive her and backs her up is the brother. While now the grandma didn't do anything, but the mom and the dad, heck, they panned to the mom, and the mom's like, I'm like, what the heck? Now I thought that was totally heartless by the parents, because the dad's like, get upstairs. I'm like, come on, dude. I'm like, okay, I know she did. She sent a nude image of herself, and then that got out in public. And yes, it disgraced her family name and herself as well. But I'm like, look, it's been 3 months. You know, isn't that enough time to ask for forgiveness? And then, the family likes treating it like it's like, my God, she convicted murder or something like that. I'm like, she only sent. Now, this is me talking as 21-year-old. I'm like, that's only me sent. And I'm like, she only really sent out a nude. It's not like she killed somebody. And like, her parents are like condemning her like she killed somebody, you know? and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty heartless and rude from the parents that they didn't even, ask for forgiveness, and or at least they're like, "Look, honey, we forgive you. You're still gonna be grounded, but we forgive you." Now, stuff like that. Now, I'm guessing the plot line's gonna be her trying to regain her parents' trust back. But I just thought her parents were completely a-holes in this situation. I'm like, geez, I'm like, it's been 3 months since that incident happened. I'm like, geez, I'm like, at least like, treat her right. You can probably see that, she's not even being treated like honestly, the parents don't even treat her like a daughter. They treat her like she's just straight up garbage, And I'm like, oh, I'm like, come on. I know, it's bad, especially if a parent finds out like you're sending nudes to a dude and then it spreads out to the rest of the school, and stuff like that. Yeah, you know, she deserves punishment for that. But 3 months and ongoing punishment for whatever. I don't care. If I was in Yolanda's position, I would have just left the house at the moment they didn't ask for my forgiveness. I would have dipped. I would have been like, fine, you guys can F off. I'd rather go live on my own, go live with one of my friends, and run away from home. Because if my parents are going to treat me like that, I'm going to be my own person right then. That's what I thought Yolanda should have did. Because the fact that her parents treated her like that, I was extremely disgusted. I was like, okay, you just need to walk out and leave them. Tell your brother, like, look, I'm running away. I'm gonna go live at my friend's house for like the rest of my life. I want nothing else to do with my parents. But it seems like that her storyline is gonna probably try to regrain and get that forgiveness from her parents. We're just gonna see how that story progresses. But I'm liking where they're taking this Yolanda storyline. So yeah, but like I said, I would have totally dipped on my parents if they treated me like that. If I say send out a nude image, which I would not do whatsoever, if I send an image like that, and it's been 3 months, and I'm still asking for forgiveness from my parents, and they're not giving me that forgiveness, I would have got my backpack, I would have got my clothes, I would have walked out, I would have called up one of my boys. I'm like, can I? I'm like, look, I know this is abrupt, but can I live over at your house, like literally, because my parents are treating me like garbage. That's what her parents were treating her like. I'm sorry. And like I said, she even gave a heartfelt speech and stuff like that. The girl, she was even crying to her parents. So, other than that, at the end of the episode, Courtney actually drops by her house quickly. Well, we don't see her, but she leaves the Wildcat costume there, and she leaves a note saying, like, I can't do this alone. And it kind of inspires, Yolanda to continue, working with Courtney, because Courtney's that one friend, that one person in her life who, you know, is going to support her and be there for her when Yolanda needs her to be, because her parents are not there, nobody in school's there for her. You know, who else does she has left to turn to but to do Courtney? So, she suits up as Wildcat, and, she's at, Courtney's window, and she just is like, hey. So then, the last scene is where, Pat goes to the scrap yard, and you know, he runs into this black cat, and then we find out that Denise's car is in the scrap yard. Now, I don't know if now when I was first watching it, I'm like, Denise. Either a few things could have happened. Denise, I guess, killed herself because of her not taking. She can't just take the mental trauma of what's been going on with her life and the fact that she not only lost her son, but she lost her husband the same exact day. Or somebody attacked her. Maybe Dragon King attacked her. Who knows? Um, I don't know. It did look like the the front was kind of swampy, so who knows? Maybe she, like, I don't know, drove off a cliff and killed her. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe they'll explain what happened to her later in the season 2. So, yeah, but other than that, it was a good episode of Stargirl. I enjoyed it. The Yolanda storyline was pretty much the main featured thing. There was no big bad. It was just kind of just like the introduction to Wildcat and stuff like that. So, yeah. So I like Yolanda's character, and it makes me really feel for her. Like, it makes me want to give her a hug right now because what she's going through. Like, you know, not only the whole school kind of ostracizes her over one image, like literally, one image, that gets around. One, and when I've had friends get, images like that and send it to other people or show it to other people, and they want to totally disown people for it. Now, I don't know if that would work in your type of school or stuff like that, but hey, in real life, I'm just saying, in real life, if that were to ever happen, people would just look at it and be like, move on from it. So it's like, I don't know why they're making it such a big deal, but yeah. But yeah, and especially the parents either. The parents are making a humongous deal out of this. I think it's completely born out of proportion. But I understand where the parents are coming from, other than the fact that they're not asking for her forgiveness whatsoever. But like I said, another good episode. Like I said, it wasn't better than episode 3, but I did like this episode. It was still another good Stargirl episode. So next week, Beth looks like she's going to be wearing the costume of Doctor Midnight, I believe, and becoming another hero in this new society of hero, the new JSA. So also, I just can't wait to see what Pat reacts to all this nonsense that Courtney's doing because he's gonna be pissed when he finds out what Courtney's been doing. That's all I can't wait to have see that discussion. So yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. So if you like this video, leave a like. If there's a comment you want to put in the comment section regarding anything in this episode, um, hit in the comment section. Also, hit that subscribe button to get more Stargirl content. Alright guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully you guys have a great day, night, or whenever you're seeing this video. And hopefully you guys are staying safe. So till then guys, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.